Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Rockhurst, a podcast made by Rockhurst University students for Rockhurst University students and anyone else interested here at Life at the Rock.
It's been a minute since our last episode, so there's a lot to cover today. So we'll talk about the hard Thanksgiving discussions as well as the best food that people have had over Thanksgiving.
Absolutely, and as you all know, finals is this week, so we're going to talk about mental health and some strategies to make finals at least a little bit more bearable.
And finally, Spotify Wrapped came out last week, so we will talk about surprises we had, and then we also touch on Rockhurst basketball.
But first, let's meet everyone's cast today. List your name, major, hometown, and then like your favorite Thanksgiving meal or like what you like have to have, or if there's any like weird traditions that you guys have.
Okay. So my name is Brianna Merle. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a senior, majoring in physics of medicine and bioethics. And I would say for Thanksgiving, something that was mandatory on the table would have to be the macaroni and cheese. Like, for my family, it's a staple. I actually cooked it this year, so my heart was going pitter-patter because all the aunties and grandmas would have clowned me if it was bad. But my great-grandma approved of it, so I would say
That's good.
It went well.
Real good.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, my name is Damian Hood. I'm a senior here at Rockhurst University studying psychology. And when it comes to Thanksgiving food, for me, it's sweet potatoes, aka candied yams, whatever. That's usually my favorite on my plate. I actually got to make that for the Thanksgiving Throwdown for one of our BSU events, and it was gone pretty quickly. So I think people liked it, and so that was really good. And then for our next person that we have here on our podcast, her name is Naz, and she is an e-board member for BSU. She's actually our financial officer, so I'll just leave that to her.
Well, I'm Naz. I'm a freshman, majoring in computer science on a pre-med track. I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, so I don't really have anything that I would have. But yeah.
What's like your favorite like meal, or like what like something you really like to eat?
It has to be Ethiopian food. It's just like cultural significance. And everything. That's what I grew up eating.
Yeah.
So.
Is there anything specifically from there?
Ooh, there's a lot. I don't know.
Like your favorite, like, I don't know that many Ethiopian foods, so like.
Dorowet is so good.
What is that?
Everybody knows that. It's like chicken with like really spicy like sauce,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's like boiled eggs in it, and like it's so good. It's so good.
That's yummy. So yummy. So my name is Katia. I am from a small town in Arkansas. I'm majoring in biomedical engineering. Kind of like as like we celebrate not Christmas. We celebrate. We do celebrate Christmas, but we don't really celebrate Thanksgiving. Just because like we get together and we like feast, but like it's literally just Mexican food. Sometimes we throw in a turkey. I didn't get to go home this Thanksgiving. I had too much work to go home for that drive, and so I just had like a few Friendsgivings. But like, I feel like whenever we have our meals, like we always just have to have like, I don't know. I feel like some type of like either like bread or tortilla to go with the food. Like I've realized like most cultures, whatever it is, like there's like some type of like bread or like flat bread or something that goes with the food that just really ties it up. So yeah, that's my little spiel on Thanksgiving. And if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, review us wherever you get your podcast from. And if you want to watch this episode on video, you can find it at youtube.com/Rockhurst Talk. And if you have any comments, ideas, or if you would want to be on here, you can send us a DM at Rockhurst University on Instagram.
Okay, so moving along, we're going to be talking about the hard discussions at home usually that occur during Thanksgiving. So I'll just go ahead and just jump right into it. Did you get into any uncomfortable conversations this Thanksgiving?
I feel like with my family, it depends. Most of the time, like, it depends because when we, like, do our version of Thanksgiving, it's usually, like, my mom, my dad, my brother's wife, like, my boyfriend that comes, and it's just, like, we're literally just eating. Now, when we're, like, in my whole family, sometimes there's like a little tension, but like there's hasn't really been anything like significant. I feel like it's bad to say, but I feel like with a lot of families, like they just keep it behind their backs and talk about behind people behind their backs, and instead of, you know, saying it there, which honestly, as bad as it is, it's better so you can kind of just enjoy a nice family meal with no conflict. But that's how it is with us. You don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but do you guys ever get into?
Whenever we gather, it's just like, we have a lot of very opinionated people, including me in the household. So like if politics comes up, it's always just there's one side and the opposite. It's just even me and my dad are on opposite sides of things when it comes to certain things. So I'm always voicing my opinions. Like Damien knows, I'm very opinionated. I don't care what you think. I'm gonna voice my opinion. So I'm just like, I'm always the one that's like, but you're wrong. Like a 7-year-old person, like my uncle would be there. I'm like, but you're wrong. So that's usually what happens.
That's surprising. We don't even have like politics come up really during our Thanksgiving meals. It's kind of like everybody, I think, has an assumption that like they all agree with each other. And that's not the case. This is how they talk. But we just know like certain topics like that don't arise at the table and everything. So
I feel like that's good though, like just for respect, because I know there are a lot of families, and I think there's some of my family members too that like, as much as they don't agree with like someone's lifestyle or with what someone believes in, they kind of just like agree to disagree. Right. And like that's kind of like the best thing to do, because like it's at the end of the day, it's your family. Like you need to try and have a good time with them, show some respect, and just kind of come to like some ground level to avoid all that conflict.
Yep.
I absolutely agree. I would say like this year, my family, we hosted it at our house, and well, we didn't tell no one else. So it was just my immediate family. Because it's always something happening. So it's like, we're like, yeah, and then like the next day we're like, yeah, we realized like no one was at grandma's house. Like, what? Oh yeah.
Hey, you should have told me.
But hey, I think it was just best. It went well. We were all chill, and I just liked it. I miss y'all cousins, but yeah, no, I think it was very similar as far as like people think that like, oh my God, like we all have the same opinions. Really, it's not, and it comes out so much in the things that they say and like different actions. I'm like,
the microaggressions.
you're not what you think you standing for, actually. So, yeah.
But I feel like a lot of these hard, like, there hasn't been much conflict because of COVID. Like, I don't know, did you guys have, like, big Thanksgivings during COVID times?
No,
yeah.
I don't even go back home.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there was a lot of, so I don't know, maybe families that are starting to gather up, they've got all that conflict build up, ready to let it out.
I can never avoid the conflict because it's always my dad that instigates. So he always goes in, yeah, this is and this. So like, have you heard about what happened like here and there? And I'm like, Dad, we all know who was for you and so like, why are you starting?
Sounds so similar to mine, because he knows I'm gonna disagree with him, and so he says it anyways.
He just opens his mouth still,
just so we can
look.
start. He's like, "Come on, Brianna, let's get it." No,
stand your ground, and I'm like, he's like, explain to me why you're right, and I'm like, Dad, I just did.
So the drama that I had was quite literally the opposite of what Bree had. So Bree stayed home. We decided to go back home, and my mom didn't tell nobody, just like your family did. Like, they just didn't tell nobody. My mom decided not to tell anybody except her sister that we were going down there. And when we get down there, we find a family member, and of course they go about and they tell other families that we're there. And thankfully it was last minute, because the whole reason why we didn't want to tell nobody is so that we didn't have to go through the stress of being last minute helping in the kitchen type of thing.
Yeah.
Just like we just want to be with the family, we just want to eat. And when we get into the house, the drama lets loose. As soon as we sit at the table, somebody decides to come in. That person that told everybody, they get shunned basically by a couple of our family members. And then we have somebody else come in talking all the nonsense in the world, talking about how they raised my mother and how they put a roof over their head. And It was, yeah, I'm surprised, I'm happy, thankful, but my mom didn't like give in. So that goes even to like our next question, like to keep relationships, but also to stay in what you believe in. She decided to make sure that, because she knows that she has a strong vocabulary of words that she can make somebody cry very easily. So she decided to not say anything and then stand up and leave the room. So that was a great role model aspect of choosing your battles. And it just kept the dynamic of the family, the atmosphere of the house very wholesome, even though there was still that tension of somebody coming into the house trying to start some stuff. So, but anyways, the next question is, any tricks for how to keep relationships but also stand for what you believe in?
You can go ahead.
It's funny because mine's is not a trick at all to stay together. For me, my experience, like with family, friends, whatever the case may be, I look at it as like, I can have a conversation with anyone, anyone on whatever beliefs, political spectrum, whatever the case may be. I can have and facilitate dialogue because it's like, well, we live in a world where everyone has different opinions, perspectives, and backgrounds, so it's kind of a given. Now, am I gonna sit down and like go to the mall, hang out, like all that? Not really. If our ideas don't align, that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And then as far as like when there are those arguments or like those things where it's just like it's hard to forgive someone about something, for me, I feel like forgiveness doesn't require reconnection, meaning like my peace and my joy, the space that I'm in now, I'm not negotiating that for anyone, no matter who it is. I just told a family member that a few weeks ago. I'm like, no, like I'm cool. You're in a space where you feel bad now, but I'm at peace, and that's where I am with it now. So yeah. Mine's is not a trick.
I totally agree.
But I can't see like the other side because, of course, everyone has different experiences, and sometimes, depending on your household, if you still have to live with different family members, whatever the case may be, it may be different. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like with my family, there's not that much conflict. There's a lot of judgment, but there's not like conflict. Like. The biggest thing I think was for people to understand was whenever one of my oldest cousins came out gay, and like everyone in the family was accepting of it, and like a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, what are your grandparents gonna think, like, because we're raised like very like traditional Catholics, and so they were like, what are they gonna think, what are they gonna say especially when they first came to the United States. And so we go and tell like my grandpa about it, and he was like, yeah, I know. I could tell since he was a child. And so I think within my family, including my mom, there's 9 aunts and uncles. But that big of a family, there's not that much conflict. But like then with friends or like people outside of family, I feel like there can be a lot more. Because like you said, I have a lot of people that like I definitely don't agree with, especially going to a high school that was like predominantly white in the South, not that much diversity, very closed-minded people. I definitely had to like keep my mouth shut at times, and not just because I was like, oh, I don't want to stand up for myself, but it was just because like at the end of the day, there's some people you're not going to get through as much as you want to, as much as you can like argue and like tell them the facts and like explain everything. There's just some people you're not going to get through, and you just kind of have to leave it at that. Like you said, like I just I'll be nice to someone. I always will be nice to someone. But I won't be like, oh my gosh, BFF, like, where are you? Like, let's go out. But I just like to be respectful towards everybody because I'd want everybody to respect me. Not always the case, but you can't please everybody. You can't please everybody.
Do I have a trick? To be honest, I say what I say, and then you know what I mean? They know it's out of love.
Yeah.
And then, but like, our opinions don't align. Like, they're my family still. Like, if it's family, like, you just have to tolerate. Like, knowing that, like, you're gonna have your differences and just still be civil about it. If it's outside of my family and it's just like a family friend or something,
It's a lot different.
Or even if it's my cousin, sometimes I just like to keep my distance. I'm just like, hi. just move on. You know?
Yeah.
There's no point of me interacting with you knowing that like we won't agree on like so many important things that like I don't know, because I feel like some of my opinions are very like moral based.
Mhm.
So if you're not gonna agree with me on that, then there's no point of us like having a deeper connection.
Yeah,
So
that's a really good
I
point.
just avoid.
That's only for 1 weekend. So let's talk about break because that's a lot longer than 1 week. So how do you guys feel about like going home? Is it easier for you guys? Is it more difficult, the transition from college to going home?
Mine is like, it's this weird relationship. So I live 6 hours away from home. My brothers went to school 45 minutes away from home, so they were home every weekend. But I was so attached to going back home my freshman year, I went home every 2 weeks. So it'd be 12 hours back and forth. How did I afford that? Gas? I don't know. And I was like, oh, I have to go home. Like, I want to go see my mom. I want to go be in my bed and stuff like that. And it would just be like, okay, who can I hang out with? What am I going to do? Like, I'm going to go visit all my, like, nieces and nephews. And now, like, I go home. When did I go home? This semester, I've gone home once. And it was because of, I, like, had to go do some things back home, like my driver's license fixed and everything like that. So that's why I had to go home. And even for like winter break, I don't go for the full month. I think it's just like learning this independence and like kind of growing and being myself. And it's really become hard for my mom to accept that, mostly because me and her we're very attached to each other. I'm such like a mom's girl, and like I'm her only daughter. I'm her youngest, so that already like and so now I'm just becoming more independent, and it's like weird because like I don't know, I used to be so dependent on my parents. Like I avoided getting my driver's license until the senior year because I didn't want to drive. I had just had my parents drive me everywhere. But yeah, now I like when I go home, I'm just like don't really want to go home. Like I don't want to be here for that long. Like, do I have to go see everybody in my family and go be at their house and go, make food for everybody? Like, do you have to go out? Do we have to go do all this long list of to-dos with my mom because she struggles with her English still, so I have to be with her? And so, yeah, now I go home less and less. It's not just because, like, oh, I don't like being with my family, but it's more sense of being independent and being, like, on my own in a sense. And I just like that. But like then sometimes I'm like, oh, I really want to go home. I want to go be in my bed. Those twin beds are not it at all.
The fact that we still have a twin bed in the house, I'm just like,
it's not easy.
I can't wait to upgrade.
My bed was a twin bed, so I was like, oh, same thing.
Easy
Doesn't
transition.
matter.
Easy
Yeah.
transition for you.
And then we look at the mattresses here, and there's like twin XL.
Wow.
Ooh.
I would say it's weird every time, and it's not because like I love my family, like I'm very family oriented, but I would say like my room itself, it feels so foreign. Like I don't know, like the bed is so cold. Okay, obviously no one sleeps there, but like it's like a different feeling. Like I don't feel like don't get me wrong, it's more comfortable, but it's like I don't know. It's like everything on the walls, like the walls, the decorations. It's just my old self, like it doesn't embody me whatsoever, like my room right now. And so it's kind of like weird going back home. And then I'm a senior. So I'm thinking like, okay, as I get older, I'm 21 now, like my mom's like, she'll get it, and she's not getting it. Because like I like to hang out with my friends from high school. And it's, for me, I understand like safety, where you are. But one time, like, she really made me think that like I was in trouble. And she was like, where you at? I'm like, I'm still out. Well, let me know like exactly when you come home. I'm like, so then I called her when I got home because I hurried up and went home. And I said, where are you at? She's like, she was out of town at the time. She was like, and she was literally asleep. She was like, okay, just want to make sure you made it. Good night.
Oh no.
I could have stayed out. I was so
I would have
mad.
gone back out.
I was
like
so mad.
The interpretations of text,
Yeah.
even though
Oh,
they're
yeah.
the exact same, are like different now. And it's just like, there's like, I said what I said. And it's like, I meant what I said. Don't try to
Yes.
read in between the lines. I was like, I had to read in between the lines growing up all my life. It's like, what are you talking about?
No,
Don't do-"
literally.
So
That's so true. And then, like, to all the parents out there,
All the parents out there.
because I'll go out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to the mall, I'm going to go eat. Oh, she'll be like, okay, what time will you be back? I don't know. Like, you operate off vibes. Like, my mom operates off vibes. Like, she doesn't know exactly when she'll be done kicking with her friends. The
Yeah.
same thing with me. And it's just like, it's just stressful.
There's so many time restrictions when
Yes.
you go home.
I agree.
Yes.
Like picking off of that, like this when I went over there for Thanksgiving, my dad I was out with my friends. Well, before I went there, I called him and I was like, I haven't asked for permission for 3 months to go anywhere,
Yeah.
or I've never told you how late I'm gonna be coming home. So, because what are you gonna do? You're 6 hours away.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna
My
be an
point.
adjustment, especially for this weekend because it's such a short weekend. He was like, I'm fine with that, but when you come for Christmas, you have to figure it out because I'm not gonna let you in and out of the house at midnight. And I'm like, got it.
Sleep in the car.
But right, right. But this weekend I went out with my friends and we went Black Friday shopping. And then got done, and then I had brunch with my friends, and then we were out all day, and then it was 8 or 9, and he calls me. He's like, "So you're not coming back home until midnight, right?" And I was like, "I don't know what time I'm gonna be done." He was like, "Do you need me home, whatever?" Because I was like, "Do I have to be home?" He goes, "No, I was just gonna go out." I was like, "Really? If it was any other day, you'd come home right now." And
Yeah.
he's
He
asked
not-
for
and then
permission.
and he's like, "Just make sure you're home by midnight." He gets home at 2 from his friend's house. I was like, Could have been out.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that's the hard part because it's when you're here, you're not gonna be like, "Hey, mom, I'm gonna go get ice cream at 10 p.m. with my friends because we want some." No, you're just gonna go to Yogurtini down the road and go
Yeah.
get some ice cream, some frozen yogurt.
It was something that you said, and I think that's something my mom and I had to work on. I was like, okay, I'm about to go out to eat with my friends. She's like, so you're just not going to ask anymore? I'm like, can I?
Yeah.
And then she'll say yes. And it's just I don't know if it's a power dynamic. I don't know what it is. But my little brother just turned 16 the day before Thanksgiving. And not that I want him to go through the struggle of being scared to ask your parents to go out and all that.
Yeah.
But he just has it so easy. I'm just he's just going out with his friends and doing all these things. I'm just I don't remember this same treatment when I was young at all.
It's literally the
I
opposite
don't
for
like
me.
it. Really?
Yeah, so I'm the youngest, but I'm the only girl. And so my brothers they were 45 minutes away from home. So my parents paid for their spring breaks. They got to go out. They never had to ask for permission. They were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go with some friends," and then they could come back whenever. And then me, it's it was "Oh, you need to be home by 9:00. And where are you gonna be at? You need to make sure you have a ride or you're not driving back late at night." I'm like, man, I thought I wouldn't have to go through all this. I'm the youngest one. We're supposed to get it really easy. But it's just that part, I think, in my culture where they're so harsh on the women. And it'd be more specifically because it's sometimes I'd want to go hang out with my boyfriend. They're like, "Well, you can't go to his house. You guys, if he wants to go to a house, you guys have to come here. Has to leave by 9, 8 o'clock." And it's just these things. So it's opposite for me. I'm the
Wow.
youngest one, but I'm so restricted. That's why I like being over here more because I'm I'm gonna go do whatever as long as I'm safe. What about you?
Choose my words carefully. So going back home, it's a lot because my mom's favorite phrase in words growing up is just no. So asking for stuff became a lot. It was really difficult going back home for college. So going back to college, I'm in college, going back home for break, and then just saying to my mom, like, hey, can I go out with some friends, was like, it wasn't easy to do because doing that throughout high school or whatever, I'd never really got to do it as much. So it got to the point where my mom is, what's the phrase, like, God or growth mindset, right? So she's growing. She's growing and learning that, like, I'm becoming my own person, trying to come back home, though there's still some rules that are just never going to change in her house. But going back, she's just like, you need to just learn to ask and just ask. And I was like, okay. And I was like, you're just going to start asking. And so it gets to the point where you start to overthink, am I asking too much? Am I being too selfish? Should I only be spending time with my family members? It was like going back to what you said, like going to see other family members as well. It's like you're almost expected to spend your break with just your family rather than your friends that you are still in connection with, that you went to high school with. So that's where the issue is. It's like I don't get to see my high school friends. I have a high school friend who's in college 2 hours away, and I don't get to see him. I only see him probably once or twice a year, honestly. So, like, even that's a struggle. And it's just like, I can see my mom whenever. She's 15 minutes away. But looking good.
Oh, I was going to say, or like time with yourself.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I'm still kind of living in what you'd consider dorms. So, like, you're surrounded by people. When you go home, like, you just want to, like, sometimes just be by yourself. That's just how I am.
And that reminds me. So you said your bed is cold, per se. Now, even though it's cold, might sound negative, but does that sleep hit differently than here on college campus? Is it better, worse?
I would say better, but it's so crazy. I'll wake up at like 7 a.m. easily at home. Like I know it sounds crazy, but I'll just wake up.
That's the opposite.
And I'll just be chilling. And
You're supposed to do that.
Then I really think it's because, like, in college, and it kind of segues into, like, finals, but, like, I've noticed a difference in my sleep when, like, I go home and have, like, kind of like a kind of cool down period where you're not doing anything, you're not doing stuff on your planner, you're not figuring out the next step, like, it's like a de-stress, like, you're not working on anything at least 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Because when you're studying, you go to sleep and it becomes like a stress cycle. So, like, I feel like at home, it definitely, like, I don't know, I'm at peace because I know no one's emailing me. I don't have to answer any questions. You know, I'm always here to answer questions. But it's different when it's at home.
When it's not expected.
That part. So I would definitely say it's different.
Interesting. The sleep at home always hits differently because I'll be sleeping almost anywhere, even outside the bed. So I come home, my first place to just residing is just the living room up against the couch. I'll be watching TV. It wouldn't even be more than 30 minutes. I'm out, gone on the floor. We wake up 2 hours later, and my mom was just like, good morning. And I'm just like, it's still the evening. Go upstairs to just digress or whatever for a little bit on my phone, gone again within 15 minutes. I'm like, I just can't stop falling asleep in the house. So when I'm home, it's just like, this is where you sleep. You're going to make up for all. Now, there's no such thing as making up sleep, but I'm going to make up all my sleep going home over the break.
I'm so sorry. How do y'all think, like, being able to get adequate rest has been going so far now that we're, like, entering finals week?
Well, last night I went to bed at 4, and I woke up at 4 a.m. and I woke up at 7. And the night before that, I went to bed at 3:30 a.m. and also woke up at 7. But I think these are just there's always like, it's always like the period before finals where I don't get any sleep, and then during finals, like, I'm okay because most of them are like projects or stuff I already have to do. They're online. So right now, what would it be? I don't know how many hours. 6 hours in between the last 2 days of sleep, but like I feel fine. I really do feel fine.
Okay.
That's what we tell ourselves.
No, it's like once I think maybe the third day doing that, it starts really affecting your body. The reason why I stayed up so late was just to finish a project and to make sure a friend went to bed, and then she made me a coffee, and I was up. I had to force myself to go to bed. I honestly still would have been up if I hadn't forced myself to go to bed. But that's my own personal experience with sleep and finals. I know it's really different for everybody else. What you guys?
Oh, so this is. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but this is like your first final. So like,
Shoot, yeah.
how are you feeling?
Shouldn't have said any of that.
No, you're good. It's really interesting because I thought I would be a lot more stressed than I am
Mm-hmm.
in a way, because I was like, I have 3 finals, and then I'm just like, oh, I know one of my classes just however much I study is just not gonna go the way I want it to go.
No.
So I'm just gonna accepting the fact that it's not gonna go as well as I want it. But the rest, I'm with you on this week. I have gotten maybe like 10 hours of sleep overall.
Overall.
Yeah.
Oh my.
And that's because I had a chemistry exam and a biology exam. Our last exams were this week,
Mm-hmm.
and I just like it was like we went through it quickly, so we had to teach ourselves a lot of the things, and then they were more focused on the final like review instead of like that topic.
Mm-hmm.
And then like being gone for break and then coming back on Monday and taking an exam was just
Oh, you
It's
can't
not
do
it.
that. You
It's
can't
not
do
it.
that.
yeah. So I was like, I just have to stay up.
Yeah.
So I got here at like 4 a.m. Like from South Dakota, and then like slept for however long, and then didn't sleep that night, like Monday night.
Mhm.
I was up until 4 again,
Mm-hmm.
and then just like, yeah. So I just, it's quite interesting, and like it's so weird because I have a friend that studied all break and stuff, and then he's just like, yeah, I think I've overstudied. I'm just gonna chill. Like there's nothing for me to do anymore. And he usually is in the library 24/7 and doesn't want. Now he's like with us hanging out, and I'm like, we're all just like studying, and he just sits there and like talks to us, and I'm like, thanks. Like I feel great. You know? Like clearly you have your life together more than I do, but.
No, the people that stay in the library, because I started for the first time this semester going to the library and do homework. I would do homework in every other room except the library. Then I finally just decided to start doing it, and it's been tremendously helpful. The people that stay in there, because I'll be in there for some time, and then I'll leave, and then I'll come back, and it'll be like 2 hours in between, and that person is still there, and I'm like, what are you doing to
Like,
be in the library for
yeah.
5 hours? I'm like, oh my goodness.
There's times I do that too, but.
Yeah.
It's
that was just
insane.
You need to give your brain a
productive.
rest.
Yeah.
Like, go walk around, take a lap.
They
You know?
probably are too. It's just like watching a video.
And they're like very involved in a way, like they're in everything, very much social person,
Mhm.
but still have their life together when it comes to academics. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm trying to be like you when I grow up.
I will say this. My sleep has been extremely better this semester. Bree can attest for what I'm about to say.
Oh my.
Freshman year and sophomore year, a little bit of junior year, I started making some changes. But freshman and sophomore year of college, I averaged 5 to 6 hours of sleep every single night. And it was just, that's what I did in high school every day, every single day. I only got 4 to 6 hours of sleep just because of getting back home really late, because my mom's doing a job and has to pick us up really late from school or after activities, because I played sports all around. So I played 3 different sports every single year, and I was in a diploma program called the IB program. And so a lot of that homework was very much stressful with sports and all the other things I was doing. So I was okay with 5 to 6 hours of sleep. It was natural. It got bad though, because freshman year, it was like I had all this time to do my work, but I decided not to do it until very much at the last minute, because that's what I did. And then once I realized somewhere in junior year, I was like, let me actually try to start doing my work before going to bed. And it was just like, oh, this is what it feels like to not be stressed going to sleep. And it was like, so for finals, I don't typically stress over the test. This might be bad. Take it as you want. I do not treat finals any different than just a regular test for the most part. Because me personally, I don't test well per se. But So I just try not to stress too much that it's called a final. I just say it's another exam. So I'll study for however much time and then just go about my day. So
Made it this far. So.
yeah, I was just
Yeah,
like,
I
whatever.
mean,
I mean,
senior.
I'm not gonna get knocked down. So.
Would you all say that you all have any like, I guess, advice or like resources when it comes to finals week for maybe people who are having finals for the first time, or even those who have had finals for a few times but are still not finding their groove? Like, do you all have any recommendations?
I feel like there comes to a certain point that you just call it done. Just close your laptop, rest your eyes, and just go. I shouldn't be saying that.
No,
But-
you know what I thought about?
What?
We were working on a final project together, and like my eyes started to burn, and I was like, I tried to make it nice. I was like, yeah, Katya, so I think we should do this a little bit more tomorrow.
I remember that. It was like 10 o'clock or something.
I
past
get
that.
tired so fast. Like, I'm pushing 1 o'clock. My roommate knows I'd be sleep, like sleep. I cannot stay up late anymore. I don't know, I feel like an old lady.
Yeah. The thing is, that's how I usually am. Because, like, come 11 o'clock, I would usually shut down everything and I go to bed, or at least, like, rest my eyes. The reason I did this last was because I just really wanted to get my work done early. But, yeah, and, like, it's like, well, I'm going to fail this test or, like, this class. Just retake it. You know, it's hard, but, like, life was going to continue on. Like, one test won't define you for the rest of your life. One, like, grade, one C, B, whatever, like, it's not going to be the end of the world. And that's something I've had to work with, because I feel like a lot of people coming from high school, it's like, oh, straight A, like,
Right.
above a 4.0, like, all these things. And then you come to college and you get your first B, and you're like, my life's over, like, I'm gonna have to drop out and all that. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna study all these 24 hours, but, like, just close your laptop, get yourself some rest, because at the end of the day, like, if you're overworking yourself and, like, you're tired and, like, drowsy and, like, falling asleep while studying, what's the point? You're not gonna retain anything. Might as well at least try and make yourself, get some rest and make a better version of you. That's my little piece.
I would say that there's definitely like some resources on campus. So all of the different organizations, usually during this time, especially this week, they'll have different things. So I know there's some that's hosting study sessions. I know there's some offices that's doing kind of like snacks, beverages, study tips. So definitely make sure you're looking on Instagram or asking your friends about different organizations they're in and if they're doing anything for finals. And then as far as finals itself, like, same thing. Like, I had to realize I was a straight A student. I'm not now, and it's not the end of the world. Like, it's really not. Like, when I'm going into job interviews, they don't ask me, Brianna, what did you get in your chemistry class freshman year? Like, no. So definitely do that. And I would say sometimes when it comes to work, I try to use like the 9 to 5 approach, so like doing at least like the bulk of my like work during the 9 to 5 hours. So like for instance, all the emails that I send are usually 9 to 5, because like I like to like not really answer emails or send emails after 5 o'clock. And then if I do study, and then it's more natural to do it at night. But that's just kind of like some tips that I have. Coffee is always a must for me.
Yeah. Coffee. Sometimes it doesn't do anything to me, and then sometimes I'm like,
whoa,
crazy.
One time, my roommate one time was like, "You're up early." I'm like, I know, I just
I feel ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's
Taking on
so
the
funny
day.
because she got back at 4 a.m. from
Oh,
studying.
no.
I woke up at 7 a.m. to start my day because I had coffee. And it was the day of our presentation, so I was really, really up early.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Had to be.
No, yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I just remembered my thought. So coffee does not work well with me. For me, coffee, I like crash within like five minutes, but it's weird. So I'll crash. I'll be asleep for at most 15 minutes. And when I wake up, boom, energy.
That is so
It's gone.
hot.
It's not gone. It's there. I'm hot. I'm wired. I'm ready to go. And it's just like, I don't understand. I mean, I have ADHD, so that's probably why another reason that it reacts the way it does. But I'm just like, coffee don't do it. I've been trying to drink it in the morning every now and then, just a little bit. So I can't even have like a full cup. I pour half a cup, and I still can't even drink half the cup because I'm like, nah, that's gonna do something. So
you're bouncing off the wall.
Exactly. It was just like, or just be knocked out and miss my class.
Yeah.
So I just try to just drink water throughout the day. But I had a friend that going off on like the grades don't like determine your immediate your career future. Like she said, I had a friend who had the same class as me, and they dropped out, but from the class. But we took a test, and that test was our grade basically because it was the only grade in there. Because when we went into class, it was just lectures, and when they dropped the class, I looked at him all upside down. I was like, that is one test, because the professor also said, depending on your grade for your 3 exams, determines your final grade or if you need to take it or not. So basically, it was just a hint of motivation to do good on your 3 tests.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just one test. Depending on how you do your next test, you might get a good average and still be good. And it was just like, so I'm just gonna throw my business out there. My first test was not great. I got probably a 67%. I'm in the class with the 82. I'm like, you know, so it was like
that's good.
One test like that does not determine your failure or success like that. You just got to keep on putting the work and just learn from your failures. In a sense, I'm really big on that. So like, it's not that I like to make mistakes, but I like to make mistakes because I get to learn from those mistakes on how to do better and how to just go about my life. So. Yeah.
Well, speaking of finals, when you guys study, do you like listening to music?
I love to listen to music, but for me, I do the lo-fi, so it's like Study With Me on YouTube, and it just has some music. I don't like the rain one, though. Like, no. I just like the coffee shop music. And it has a timer, so you got 45 minutes, and then you got 5 minutes, usually like 5 to 10 minutes of like a break on there, and then it goes like another 45 minutes.
It's a good study method. I go between there and like I have a few playlists on Spotify that like the one I've been listening to the most right now, because when I study or especially when I read, I can't have words. I'm like, because then I'm like, oh, like what are they, you know?
Lyrics good.
Yeah. So I like to listen to like kind of that same just like sounds, like little beats. My favorite one right now is it's like Disney songs, but it's guitar. It's only guitar. It's literally called like Disney on Guitar or something like that. And that's what I just have like on repeat right now. Or like brown noise. I don't know if you guys listen to the different colors of noises.
No.
No?
I've heard of it, but I've never.
I know a lot of people listen to white noise, but like my second like playlist I always have is like brown noise, and it's just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a noise in the back, and it like helps me concentrate.
You wanna give us a sneak peek of how it sounds?
No.
Almost, you could have added to our song.
No.
With music for studying, I'm weird. There's like certain music I have to listen to for like each class, if that makes sense.
I get that.
Depending on the work that I'm doing. So
Yeah.
reading, like you said, I can't have words either. But sometimes I just can't have music at all. It just really, really depends. But when it comes to like discussion boards or assignments where I can be mindless, it'd just be really, really, really loud music with just bass. It's like, there's some words, but I'm listening to the bass because that just keeps me just stimulated. It keeps me stimulated while I'm working. So I just keep doing that. It just keeps my eyes moving and everything. So that's what music for me when it comes to homework, finals.
It's weird because when I listen to music, I like listening to music when I study, and when I listen to it, like my brain just shuts off the words like that are saying. So like I need words, but like my brain just shuts it off. So like I could be reading like so intensely, I have music, and like I wouldn't know what the song is saying.
Wow. That's really
and
impressive.
I'm just like so focused on that. And it's so weird.
Selective
I can't really, basically, I can't really, I don't know. What app do you guys use for?
Y'all gonna hate me.
Your Apple?
I am.
Apple
Oh
Music.
You should have seen her, bro, with the Echo Dot.
Oh yeah, I remember
First
that.
of all,
That was
I just got the Echo Dot. Okay,
It was
just a
brand
little bit of
new.
context. It was brand new, and I was panicking because I was trying to hurry up and put the music on, and it was taking forever to set up. But yes, I do use Apple Music.
That's okay.
I know it is.
You can leave now, though.
So you pay for it, right?
The student plan.
Okay.
I'm a Spotify girl, but I don't pay for. I don't.
so you use the one with ads.
Yeah, I don't mind ads. The thing is, I like the ads. Like
It
they're
gives you
like.
a little break. From
Yeah, it's kind of like watching TV. You get like, it's like, ooh, it's like sometimes there's like some weird ones. Like there'll be some specifically in Spanish in like the state of Oklahoma, and I'm like, what are y'all doing over here? Like, and then it's like I know have like some of the ads memorized, but I don't know. It's like a little.
Yeah.
I used to like my dad likes Spotify, but I pay for his because he doesn't like the ads. He gets really frustrated with them, but like I don't mind the ads. What about you?
I started with Spotify, and then for a little bit, my mom was talking to her sister, my auntie, and talked about the Amazon Music. Is that what it is called? Amazon Music. And they did like a family plan because it was a lot cheaper, and I would have to pay for it, and she'd get her sister on it. It was like I tried that for a little bit, but I started realizing the music I listened to it was just not in playlists. I couldn't find like playlists surrounded a song I wanted to listen to, because that's how I determine my music. I don't make playlists. I just go in the search bar, search one song, and just use whatever playlist it's in.
I do that, yeah.
And just save
from
it
there.
if it's good, and yep, exactly,
Yeah.
go from there. But now I'm back to Spotify. I have the student plan. Got some Hulu.
Oh, that like
So it's
the bundle.
it's very
Yeah,
beneficial.
It comes through. It comes through.
I'm like, for $7 is one of them. It's good.
That's nice. I use Spotify too. I'm sorry, Bree.
I'm
It's just
chilling.
better.
Spotify.
It's better. But I don't like the ads. I listened to the ads until I got my like own credit card because there's no way my father would pay for that. So I was like, and I hated it. I was just like, sometimes it's just like I don't need. I like want to finish my song, and like in the middle of the song it just pops up, and I'm like, no. So
I was watching a video of an athlete. It was LeBron James. There's an interview with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and Dwayne Wade is talking about LeBron and how cheap he is. He won't. He doesn't have Spotify Premium. He listens to it with ads. And the reporter just in the middle of him talking just says, "You know you got like $1 million, right?"
Literally, I'm sure I was like, that's a Spotify Premium is the least of his worries.
He doesn't really have streaming platforms to watch his shows or anything. He got the good old cable. He said, "I'm good." It's like, oh my goodness.
I guess that's how the rich stay rich.
I guess.
know.
That's
You
smart.
gotta do what you gotta do to keep your money.
Your coins.
Right.
Keep it in the bag.
Well, Spotify Rap came out. And Apple
She keeps
Rap.
looking at me.
Right here. We'll put the wall right here.
Yeah.
You know what? I
Apple
can
Rap.
just leave. I can just leave. Let me just.
And Apple Rap. Is that what you said for Apple? Is it
I don't even know what Apple does, and I just be listening to music. I just be chilling.
Yeah, but like I know my Spotify Rap was quite interesting
Yeah, mine was too.
because I played a song 75 times in one day, specifically October 10th.
What
And
song was
it was a
it?
Drake song, "Get Along Better." It's from
Oh.
his like Certified Lover Boy album.
21.
75 times.
Yeah,
A
in one
day?
day. It just and like let me tell you the scenario, okay? Stop.
I'm like, okay, so
That's
on
200
average,
and something minutes of
I-
music.
top 86.
One song?
Yep, top 86% of Drake listener just because I played that song
Wow.
for 7 times. But it's funny because I was in the library and I was just like studying and I had it like I didn't like that album, I won't lie. And then that song I listened to it on TikTok and I was like, I really like that verse, and then I started listening to it and it just stuck. And I was like, okay. And like it just helped me like I don't know why, it just helped me focus that day. And I was like, repeat. So I was doing my work for like 5+ hours, just it was playing. I was like, great. So now he's my #1 artist, #1 song on my Spotify app. And I didn't think I liked Drake that much. But
Apparently you do.
hey, I'm making him money, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you guys see all those TikToks of Drake whenever with the song with 20 when he's like 21? Can you do something for me? They're so funny because like there's one of him like there's animated. He's like got like a BBL and he's dancing. That's the only thing that comes into my mind when you said that was like 21.
I haven't listened to that album. It's so sad. It just I can't get myself to.
I don't listen to Drake at all. That's the only most I've ever listened to him.
I haven't listened to the new albums either. Like
I like his Take Care album.
Donda Certified Lover Boy, and then the newest one Drake just dropped, I think too.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Is it like what's it called? Like she, her, something?
Oh, don't ask me. I don't listen to like a lot of American music.
I don't either. Oh my god, I don't either. And I like expected it to be like all Ethiopian music. Like when I like and it said
It said rap.
Drake, and I was like, oh, okay. But then there was like Teddy Afro and all of those like, and then I was like, okay, perfect.
There it is.
We have some representation.
Yeah, because like most of my music, which I don't agree with my Spotify rap. Most of my music is like would be considered like regional Mexican, like it's like bandas and like corridos and all this, and like that's what I listen to mostly, and then like reggaeton too. I feel like a lot of people listen to that, which Spotify had like a weird name for reggaeton. It was like Latin trap or something. I was like, oh, you mean reggaeton? Like I don't know where that name came from.
They've gotten really creative with
Yeah.
their names. Like if you
I'm
go to
sure.
genres, there's so many.
Yeah.
There is so many. And I'm like,
Mine was like pop rap, and I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
Pop rap.
Yeah.
Is it Drake?
that don't even.
Yeah. It's Drake.
No, I never even look at I'm gonna call them accolades of Spotify, like at the end, like, because of course when one person does it, it's a trend for about a week. Everybody's just posting their accolades for their Spotify, but
I like to look at them.
You what?
I love to look at them.
I just don't, because I know mine are usually just the same.
Oh,
I just stay in like the 2000s.
Yeah, I like to look when other people post them. I feel like you're like, oh, that person listens to that type of music. Like what?
You know, like it makes me realize like I don't want to listen to their type of music. If we're ever in the car, like I'm not giving you the aux. You know, like I'm glad I could see what. Yeah. I'm not giving you the aux.
Maybe don't look at mine then.
Okay, everyone. So from talking about finals to uncomfortable discussions at home and the Spotify people in the room. Thank you so much for listening to our show on today. Make sure if you have any questions or topics that you'd like for us to talk about, make sure you DM us at Rockhurst University, and make sure you go to our YouTube channel for previous seasons and this episode right now. And of course, Nas joined us today for the first time, so thank you so much for joining us. And we hope that you come back again.
Yeah.
So, for Nas, Damien, Katia, and myself, thank you so much and have a great day.
It's not coming back to
Do you
me.
want me to say something?
We'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna put in a fake laugh, but that did not go well.
That gotta stay. It got to.
Remix that over the.
The